Okay, I'm waiting for the notification. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for turning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast. We have some great panelists with us this afternoon. First of all, assalamu alaikum to everyone who is watching.
Walaikum salam.
Sir.
Okay, excellent, excellent. First of all, let's start with our brother Najee. Please greet the people.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, excellent. Sister Salima.
Assalamu alaikum.
And brother Arvence.
Assalamu alaikum, family.
Okay, everybody sending the greetings back. Walaikum salam, walaikum salam. Okay, this is a week later, but we want to talk about the powerful and epic speech of the Most High Min's Farrakhan and its personal impact on us and the impact that we think it's going to have on the community, our families, and the world at large. We're going to start with Sister Salima. How did the speech, what did the speech mean to you, and how did it personally impact you?
I think I can speak for the majority. We were definitely all waiting for this speech, and for this whole time of being in quarantine, definitely after Ramadan and just the time that we spent being in our homes. I've been taking the time out to, just get closer to God, to understand the word a little bit more. So me feeding myself the word, I can't wait to listen to the minister to know, so he can pretty much elaborate on what I've been studying. So hearing him speak, it kind of just confirmed some of the things that I've read. And it also just made me feel, okay, like in this quarantine, it's okay. This is where you're supposed to be. Like, because I was feeling like, oh my God, everybody's outside, everybody's supposed to be doing this. But I'm like, what does the minister have to say? I'm like, I'm not moving until the minister, he's the head, we're the body. We don't move until the minister speaks. So I was like, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to sit in the house. I'm going to just keep steady feeding myself the word until the minister speaks. So when he spoke, it really, I can say it kind of just hit the head on a lot of the topics. It just confirmed a lot of things that's already been told to us for so many years. Like, this is not something new. He just kind of like confirmed it, he just like, here it is again. And I think that's why he's also spoken on saying like he's not going to speak to us for a while, because he's been repeating, it's been repetitive over and over and over again that he's been telling us. So it's like when he told us that, okay, yeah, this is the time that we're in. This is what we're not supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be out. We've already been taught we're supposed to be inside the house. We're Muslims don't, associate with ourselves out and about, just lingering, and also we're supposed to be in at a certain time. So when he was speaking on that, on how the quarantine and how this is, is a pestilence that came from the heavens, and I'm just like, okay, so many of us wasn't taking it serious. So I think it was really, it's just such a necessary thing for all of us to hear so many people speaking on the death of George Floyd, all just everything that's been happening lately. And I was just like, it really just confirmed on what we need to be doing, what we need to be as Muslims, because he is the head. So whatever the kind of like, we just follow it. So I guess he just gave me that confirmation on what I need to be doing right now at this time. Myself protected, keep my children protected, keep my family protected. And if we don't have God in our life, and if we're not following him, then you're going down a path of death, So yeah, it impacted me very, very, very hard. And I almost came to tears a couple of times, because I'm like, he's hitting it heavy. He's not playing with us anymore, So just a little bit of how that kind of affected me, on how my thoughts were on the lecture. So that's just a little something.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, perfect. And thank you. And next we're going to start with our Sister Bria. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. Sister Bria, I'm going to tag you on Facebook too, but what were your thoughts on the speech, and how did it impact you personally?
I'm sorry, I couldn't really hear you. Could you repeat the last part?
Yes, ma'am. What were your thoughts on the minister's speech, and how did it impact you personally?
Oh, my thoughts, I had a lot of like 3 pages worth of thoughts.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that everything that he said, of course, is very vital because, of course, us in the nation, we know who he is and what he represents. But I think it was even more beautiful because of the response that we got from the people who, I guess you would say, are not believers. Like, they were able to see the seriousness in which the time that we are living in right now. So I would say that what I took from it was, of course, not to get vaccinated. We in the Nation of Islam don't do that anyways, but of course, more so because it's going to be actually pressured on us. So this would be a make or a break type of, situation with the vaccines. What I mainly took from it, though, was to stand on truth, no matter the consequences, no matter what will happen to you, no matter how you're going to be looked at, because of course in the Bible it says that we will be persecuted for his namesake.
Yeah.
And we have to be fearless enough to be what we say that we are. No matter if you're Muslim, no matter what you are, you stand on truth and you never ever, come down from that post. So that was the main thing that I took from it.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Sister Salima. And thank you all both for your sacrifice. Growing up in the nation is extreme pressure. Thank you all for putting, standing 10 toes down with the minister in this hour. Next, our brother Najid. What were your thoughts? What were your thoughts on the minister's speech and how did it personally impact you, sir?
Oh man, brother, it was profound to the level that, every time I hear the minister, it's like a vindication of my faith. And so this final time, for most people, it was like, of course, what is the minister going to say? But I guess for the believers, it was like, okay, what are our final marching orders that he's going to give us for a while, And so moving forward, for me, it was like, everything that he had been teaching for 43 years up to now, it's like, there's no time to play with it now. This is the do or die time. You put it into action. It's no time to play around with the truth. And so, like it said of his disciples, they had fell asleep in the garden while he was praying. Well, many of us have gone to sleep. We play around with the teaching. We like to drop bones in the valley. We just shake and rattle. We like to hear the minister. He's talked about that. We treat him like a lovely song. You got to stop doing that. Mm-hmm. You're abusing the man of God. You got to go forward on the truth that he gives you. This man is not to be played with, nor is the truth that he's speaking on. So for me, it was, and of course for the brothers and sisters that are lost founds on my page, this was a proving point, if you will. The Criterion was a proving point. Like, look, the minister spoke on this, and then you see a day later that Florida has become the epicenter of the virus. That wasn't by mistake. Mm-hmm. It's the man of God. So yes, I think that's what every believer, man, we wanna put that forth before the people as a proving point that this is who we say who he is, and he is who he says he is. Of course, he is the Messiah. So, and this goes, forward into other things we'll get into later. But, man, it's, for me, it was a purifying message, and it was a clear message. And as most messages are given from our leaders before they depart from us, it's always like, even the ministers spoken of, they're always messages of unity. And that's the biggest thing that we need to take away as a people, because we are the true children of Israel, but the tribes of Israel were that. They were tribalized. They were split up. So as it says in the Quran, he split us up into different families that we would come to know one another. This is the time when we get to know one another. We're all sitting down, we're quarantined, we're sheltered in place. Many of us are forced to be sheltered in place because we can't find any work. People are being put out of work. So that was the biggest thing that I had took away, was the message of unity that the Honorable Min Farrakhan had given to us.
Praise be to Allah. And thank you, Brother Najee, for your hard work, and continue on social media and in the streets. Thank you for being on the front line, sir, representing the teachings. Brother Arvence, yes, sir. Live from Mas Mariam with the best backdrop that we've ever had on the People's Podcast. Okay, yes, sir. What were your thoughts on the minister's speech, and how did it affect you, sir?
It affected me in a very powerful way because I was blessed to be in attendance, and I seen that whole event, the whole speech, the way he moved everything surrounding the garden and setting up everything, leading up to the event, he told us that what he has to say on July 4th, he's going to force the enemy to come and arrest him. And so he said they want to do it before the 4th of July. But then he said the Savior, he said this is the last thing that the Savior wants him to do for this phase of his work. So I'm thinking like, okay, they want to arrest him before the 4th, but if the Savior wants him to deliver that message, they can't, even if they try.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I knew the message was gonna happen, but after the 4th, we just waiting now. And he gave us instructions concerning when they come. In those instructions, he told us not to put up a fight, let them arrest them. He said they're coming to kill you. He said, I don't want you to be killed because I want to see you alive on my return when I come back from the wheel. He's trying to save all of our life, bro. And those of us who blessed to be around him on a daily basis, we have the hardest trial because many others only get to see him and hear him on videotape or, a live feed or something like that. But those of us who blessed to be around this person and get hadith from him on a daily basis, it's our duty and our responsibility to share what we can share because we have to help save the believers, the Nation of Islam. We have to help save our people, other righteous people around the planet. And so when he told us that his message will be delivered live to the whole planet, I was like, whoa, like this must be it. Like, and then after I thought about that, he actually said it. He said, this is it. While he was speaking, you won't hear from me again. And I got nervous. I said, oh man, like we all knew this was coming, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
we all
sir.
knew this was coming. If you study, we all knew this was coming. I thought it had actually happened a few years ago, but it didn't. So I didn't know when it happened, but I'm ready. But now that it's here, it's like reality starts to set in. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And all of the events leading up to the 4th of July from March, I'm looking back at everything and I'm seeing how Allah had everything to happen to grab the people's minds, to force everyone into 100% dissatisfaction because he knew he was going to bring the minister up at a certain point. You're going to be forced to listen to him. Y'all so angry. Everybody didn't want to listen, wanted to keep living your savage life and doing everything, but now everyone's forced to listen to him. Everybody is sharing the message now and everyone's being attacked. So now I remember the Honorable Minister Min Farrakhan saying many years ago in the believers meeting here at Mount Mariam, he said, during that time of the attack, he said, will you stand firm or will you be like those weak disciples who were around Jesus and ran when the trial came?
Yes, sir.
So, and of course, everybody said, yes, sir, I'm standing firm. Okay, Allah heard you. You
Yes,
see what
sir.
I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So Allah hears your thoughts, your thinking. He know your secrets. You can't hide from him. So, I mean, what you gonna do? Whose side are you on? You gonna do his bidding or do Satan's bidding? And the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said, when he goes through that trial, he said, it ain't my trial, it's your trial. He said, were you there when they crucified my Lord? He said, a bunch of people are always there, but the ones that should have been there, they were running and hiding. And we can't run and hide this time. We got to stand and fight. Like, you have to be, if you're not willing to die for Allah and his word and his cause and our people, you're not gonna make it, man. Why don't you stop front and just go ahead and leave right now? Because you're not gonna make it. It's like, so that message he delivered on the 4th of July, that was the last and final warning from the Lord of the world. And I don't know when the minister's gonna leave, but I know it's soon. He told us at the farm it's soon. And so we're just waiting. And just waiting. You gotta keep studying. He said during a time like this, we should be found studying and praying. He said, go to your chambers and get close to Allah right now.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you. And thank you for your sacrifice as well, Brother Arvence. Sister Mariah says peace. My sister Miriam, Naima, Brother Jimmy X. Wilson. Thank you all. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for showing love. Assalamu alaikum, alaikum salam. A lot of people say yes, sir, and continue to teach. All right, we coming back to you, Sister Salima. What were your thoughts? Speaking of the minister and being arrested, as Brother Arvence said, we come back around to you, Brother Arvence, to see it from your viewpoint. I want everybody to know we all see it. We all got to handle pick up our own cross. So Salima, when the minister is betrayed and he is turned into the hands of the enemy, what are your thoughts on that situation? And what do you think, what are your thoughts on that situation?
When he is okay. If you think, how are you? People always try to speak of being riders and I ride with this person, yeah, I die and all that stuff. So it's like in this situation, are you going to manifest how much of a rider you are? And the thing is that you riding for all these people, you riding for everybody. But the thing is that are you riding for God? That is a man of God. So if they do come for our minister, then this is going to be the time and day to manifest. How much are you with God? Because this is the time to manifest yourself, to manifest your thinking. So if something happens to the minister, then we're brought to show, we're supposed to hold it down at no matter what. You know what I'm saying? We're supposed to stay on our post no matter what. So if something happens, then ain't nothing gonna change on my end.
Praise be to Allah.
I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna keep putting the word out there, and that's just my mission. That's the mission of the Muslim. We're supposed to get the dead. So if the minister get taken away, are we gonna continue our mission? Are we gonna continue to do what we're supposed to do? Like I said, my answer right now is that's yes. So that's what you gotta think to yourself. Are you gonna ride with the minister? Are you riding with God? Do you have God within you? You know what I'm saying? To stick with the man of God, that is the man of God. So yes, I am.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, Excellency Salima, I heard the strong DI voice come out of you from you were the drill instructor of the Vanguard a couple years ago. All right, next, Sister Bria, for you, ma'am, what are your thoughts on hearing the minister saying he's going to get betrayed, studying the scripture, knowing he will be betrayed, and knowing that we are in that hour? What are your thoughts on that, ma'am?
My thoughts on that is, I feel that we in the nation, we should have always had that in the back of our minds of, what is like one day the minister is not going to be here, but the minister should not be the measure by which you are a Muslim or be the measure in which you are dutiful to Allah. So he is just a representation of, the standard in which we should be. So that should, like him leaving should not, nothing should necessarily change. If anything, you should become more enhanced and you should become more of a soldier. These teachings should be made more real for you now.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know for me, I don't want to sound cocky or arrogant saying like, oh, I know I'm gonna be one of the ones, because we all want to be one of the ones.
Yes, ma'am.
But
yes.
I will say that I'm definitely striving to remain one of the ones that are of the faithful. So my name can be called by him, as he also referenced in the Criterion.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent teaching for you, and Sister Salima. All right, brother. Sister Teresa Pearl. Somebody, Sister Teresa Pearl says, beautiful testimony. Praise be to Allah. Okay, for you, brother Najee, what are your thoughts when you know that we're in the time of the betrayal and you see the atmosphere being set for the betrayal?
Brother, I honestly think that every believer should seek refuge in Allah through prayer in this time, because it could be any element in any situation that could cause the believer to turn hypocrite. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he told the minister, he said, one day all of my followers will leave me. And the minister, he didn't know how to take that. And then he told the minister at another point, he said, I pray that when you turn hypocrite, or if you turn hypocrite, that Allah go and get you and bring you back. And he did for a time, and then he came back. And so we have to look at that as a sign that the greatest of us can fall. We don't know what we'll do until it happens,
right.
To be quite honest.
Right.
So I don't know if I will be, but I pray, I fast and pray every day that I am not of the Judases. Because we know that Judas doesn't represent just one person, but it will be a party of believers that turn heels on the minister.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
So we have to seek refuge in Allah in this hour. And we have to check every thought, every word that we speak, everything that we do, every instance of dissatisfaction that we have with our brother or our sister, or with the Nation of Islam in general. What is it that you disagree with that brother or this brother or that sister that may cause you, that may grow eventually into a seed of hypocrisy? then Allah will bring about a circumstance to make it surface, and you didn't even know that you was a hypocrite. So it's a very serious thing. That's why the 114 or the Holy Quran ends off with the 114th surah, telling the believer, seek refuge from the whispers of the slinking devil.
Yeah.
Because the most important jihad is the internal jihad.
Yes, sir.
We do not know who will be, and we already know, as it says in Revelation, 1/3 of us gonna be chopped off. That's 33%. That's a high percentage, brother.
Absolutely.
So we don't know, brother. But you know, from how I honestly feel, brother, naturally, of course, looking at it in foresight, we'd be very angered at such a person to sell out the minister. And we want to kill such a person. Well, we have to be cautious that we're not that person that's wanted, that whose head is wanted.
Right.
Excellent job. Praise be to Allah. Excellent job, teacher, from Sister Salima, Sister Bria, as well as Brother Najee. All right, Brother Arvence, live from my smart yard, sir. What are your thoughts on this climate of betrayal and knowing that we are in that time, sir?
It's serious. It's been weighing heavy on my mind lately because the minister been telling us things at the garden about that leading up to the 4th, and even leading up to the 4th of July speech. He said he knows who they are. And I want to ask him, who are they? Because, you know, some said no, some said no, don't ask. Because ain't no sense of me being in jail for the rest of my life. And then I can't. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, whoever they are, they've been in check way before Allah allowed them to be born. Forget them. Just pray that, as brother said, that you not in that company. That's not the wrong side. I mean, that's not the right side to be on. And I've been praying lately for Allah for the past 2 or 3 months, like really, really, really hard. I've been praying for Allah to make me one of his strong arms during this time and during the time of the absence of his messenger. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said in the first rise, when the messenger left, he said the greatest trial that came against the believers was our belief that Master Father Muhammad, to whom our praises do forever, was God. He said that was the greatest attack on us. And he said that's what made a lot of believers fall out. Their foundation in that wasn't strong enough. So that is what pushed a lot of believers out. A lot of people got scared and whatever. So I'm thinking, like, and then he said history is cyclical. Then he got off of that and kept teaching about something else. I'm like, history is cyclical. And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute. So we always are being taught that in these teachings, the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, this is a classroom of God. You're in school learning God's, law and everything.
Yes, sir.
I'm thinking, like, you can't advance to the next grade unless you pass the one you're in. So if you fail the test, you got to take it again. You keep failing.
Yes, sir.
So I'm like, we failed the test in the first, so we can't fail this test again. Like, now it's an open book test. They didn't have an open book test in the first. Now we have the open book test, cheat sheets, all of that. It's like we should have no reason to fail this test. And so, I mean, but again, if your foundation is not strong enough, and which is your faith in Allah and his messenger and the truth that Allah brought, that's what it all boils down to. It boils down to what the Lord of the worlds brought. Is he a liar? You see what I'm saying? Does he not know what he's talking about? You see what I'm saying? Does he not have everyone in the universe in check before he allowed it to come into existence by his permission? You see what I'm saying? So no matter what our age is physically or our age in Islam is, we just got here. Humble yourself. If you can't humble yourself, you will never make it, because Allah does not care who you are, who you think you are, who you want to be. It's about you obeying him. He's the boss, not you. And you can't get to him unless you go through his messenger. So, I mean, the time of the betrayal, it's a real dark period right now. And it's not going to get any brighter until our enemy is gone. And, those among our people and among the planet who aid our enemy, unless they are flushed out as well, that's the only time we'll have any real peace on our planet.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Thank you, sir, very much. Thank you all for continuing to watch People's Podcast. All right, we come back to you, Sister Salima. My next question for you is, when you hear the minister in front of the world call for baby planes, right? And he's like, they're gonna appear, this and that. All the celebrities watching, and 50 Cent posted on Instagram, and 2 Chainz there, T.I. is there, Rick Ross. All I mean, it's just, and nobody calls the minister a liar, right? Nobody calls him crazy. All these people who hate. When you see this, how does that impact you, and how does that impact your faith, Sister Salima?
For one, if the minister calling the baby planes, I'm not trying to be around no baby. Look, honestly, you know, like he said, you can't call the minister a liar. Like, Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. So anything that the minister says can be proven. So when he can sit there and call on the baby planes and they appear, that man clearly has some power. So all I'm trying to do is make sure I'm on the good side. And I'm doing what I need to do. You know, the baby planes, they record what we do, you know, so I'm just make sure our records looking pretty clean. Even though, you know, we all have our we might stray away, you know, but we always gotta make sure we bring ourselves back. So when the things that the minister do, what he says is manifested, we making sure that we having our head on straight and we doing what we supposed to be doing. So honestly, like, the way it made me feel, I'm just like, this is Jesus, you know, this is who the scriptures, you know, this is what's been prophesied. Like, this is what's been spoken on for so many years. And it's just like, when you're seeing it manifest right in front of your eyes, it's kind of breathtaking. Like I said, I was almost in tears listening to the minister, because it's like, this is literally what we've been taught. This is what's been told to us. This is what we've been reading about. This is the day and time that we are in right now. Like, this is not, we're not looking back. This is not, okay, yeah, this is history. No, this is what's happening right now, the day and time. So how are we going to respond to this? How are we going to act? And it's just like, I'm just like trying to just get myself in order, because I'm not trying to be on the wrong path when the baby planes do come for the time for manifestation, you know, for the time for judgment to come. You know, I'm just, like I said, just keep working on myself, because that's what it made me want to do. Just continue to keep working on myself, get my prayer, get closer to God, you know. So that's honestly how it was. It's just like, get myself together, honestly.
Beautiful. Praise be to Allah. My sister Naima says, teach this, and everybody else is liking and continue to show love to the panelists for the truth that they're speaking. Sister Bria, that's how I pronounce your name, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Bria, what are your thoughts when you see the Most High Min Farrakhan in front of the world talk about baby plane, calling them, and then people being like, yeah, it is what it is. Like, what's happening? You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about that?
Right. I mean, I'm a firm believer, and I stand on point number 12. And that's what came to my head. We don't believe in the spook God. So because he can stand up there and say so fearlessly, you know, you will see these planes and you see them. It just made me think like I have studied these teachings for so long. I have heard certain lectures more than 10 times probably. And now, you know, we are living, walking, seeing everything that the minister has taught, everything that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught, everything. Our foundation is being brought to everybody. It's no hiding, it's no straddling the fence, it's no downplaying anything, it's no being politically correct, it's none of that. So when the minister speaks and you see those planes, you know, just like what he did, watch the weather. And like, I think it was the next day or a couple hours later, you know. So it's like, it's no denying. You can't say that man is a liar. You can't say he doesn't have any pull with the law, because it's very apparent that he does. So I'm with Sister Salima. I don't want to be around when you know, they are out, because like she said, I want to be on the good side. I want to be of the faithful. I want to be, you know, I don't want to be here for the destruction. I don't want to see all that. But it made me just more of a believer. It made me feel like I'm standing with the right person. This is Allah's man. This is the man that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad made, or not, he didn't make, but this is the man that he taught. And this is his knowledge. And we are, you know, submitting to that. So it just made everything more real for me.
We so loud. Beautiful. Okay, Brother Najee, what were your thoughts about the Most High Minister Farrakhan speaking of baby planes in front of the entire world, saying he's going to call them, and everybody being like, "It is what it is, sir."
Well, brother, I really saw it as a dare to the powers that he said. He used that word, and it's a dare, not necessarily with the baby planes, but when you think even with nations and when they go to war, and if there's a provocation, they'll show force. So this was the minister showing the force to the synagogue of Satan, to the U.S. government, to every wicked tyrant and ruler on the earth. Again, with this, just like the entire lecture, brother, it was, again, another vindication, and it reaffirmed my faith that we have no fear. We're going to be the victors, brother. We have the best and most wise man backing us, Allah himself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And not only that, but he has the best military weapon, and is one military weapon.
Yes, sir.
So to hear the minister call for the planes, and then the believers see the planes, and not only just the believers, but people that weren't necessarily in the ranks see it, and for that message to be broadcast was like, damn, this is really what it is now. Now the world is seeing what they've long been denying of this man and what we've been trying to tell you. But like with a person that has a learning disorder, usually you have to show them. You know, you can't just teach them, you have to show them. And not only do our people have a learning disorder and a hearing disorder for that matter, but the whole world does. So as they say, seeing is believing, and I think the minister had reaffirmed that belief with the sight of those planes.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent job, Brother Najee. Brother Arvence, how you being at the farm, right there, and you hearing the man of God call for baby planes, and then seeing the people respond in like I was expecting people to be like make memes or something, like say something, and nobody say nothing. How did that make you feel, Arvence?
When he said leading up to the 4th of July, when he told us he was going to call for them to come, I knew they would come because they come to the farm often every month on a regular basis, just on a regular day. So once he calls for them, I knew they would come because the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that those angels on those wheels, the only thing that they know is perfect obedience to Allah. That's it. And they do what the messenger tell them to do, and they do what Allah tell them to do. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, those angels on the wheel, they don't know how to decipher a joke from an instruction. So if he says something, they just do it, you know, unless he calls them off.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I knew they would show up. I was just waiting, you know, just like he told me once before he want them to come down low, tell him when they come down low. And I'm thinking, like, I know they heard that. Like, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that they can hear your thinking. They tune in to people all the time. They listen to the people's thinking. So, listening to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan express deeply how much he wanted them to show up on the 4th of July, that was like Allah knew the message he was going to give to the minister to deliver. And just to back it up, look, this is also what I have.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one else on the planet that can do that, bro. You know, there's no one else on the planet that can even talk like the minister. Why? Because they don't have it. You may hear the life giving seeds of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, but do you have the mind and the heart directly from Allah to carry that word and to deliver it and to be willing to go through whatever you have to go through to deliver it, to see a people free and to see Satan, you know, done away with on our planet? So I knew they would come. And they actually did come. that night, as it when it got dark, you know, everyone left. It got dark. We were still there. And I personally seen one baby plane come on in the sky over the minister's head and start going, and I pointed it out to him, and a lot of people saw it. So they actually did show up.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. Okay, well, that's great. To affirm our faith. I thank you all. Thank you all for watching. I have one more question for each of you. We're going to start with Sister Salima. Sister Salima, what are your steps moving forward after hearing this speech, after knowing the time that we are living in? What are your steps moving forward? Oh, no. I got two more questions. I just saw this. how did once the speech happened, did it make you move different?
Did it make me move different?
Yes, ma'am.
Like I said in the beginning, is that I've been in quarantine
Okay.
for
Okay.
a while now. So like how me and my family been moving, we just make sure like if it's not a necessity, we're not leaving out this house, you know? So it just made me more want to get on my study just a little bit more, like not even just a little bit more, a lot more, because it's like you can't feed yourself enough of God's word. Like if you feed yourself bad food, what's gonna happen? You know what I'm saying? Your body's gonna get weak. So you just gotta keep making yourself stronger. And like I said, it's just like it just made me want to get on my job, like what I need to do, like what we're supposed to be doing as Muslims, like continue to feed yourself the word, continue to get the mission out there, the word out there to the people. Because the thing is that I'm all like, yes, I got the word, but I want the people to get it as well. Even though like the minister spoke live to everybody, but I'm trying to share it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to share it because the thing is, I don't want to see my people go down. I don't want to see what's going to happen when the judgment day comes, because that, you know, that's going to be something else. And as a Muslim, we're supposed to, you know, we're supposed to be the example. So that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get my head right, make sure that I'm just doing what God put me on this earth to do. And at the end of the day, that's pretty much how it affected me to want to just get on my job a lot harder, because I'm just trying to make sure that I'm on the right path at the end of the day. Like I make sure God is with me 24/7, like how he is not how he is with the minister. I can't be on that level, but I'm just trying to make sure, like I said, I'm on the right path. That's all. That's pretty much how that affected me.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, ma'am. Sister Bria, how did you move different since you heard the speech, ma'am?
I would say that I just, like Sister Salima, I wanted to study much more, but even more so than that, what is the duty of the civilized? You know, I wanted to continuously like just push out the teachings. I don't care if you like it, don't like it, love it, all that. I need you to at least hear it, because, you know, the Quran says our job is to only deliver a clear message. Of course, I can't change anybody's mind or heart, but as long as you have heard it, I have done my job. And that is like the main thing. Of course, like teaching my family or trying to be that clean glass so my family can see like how serious this is. So my friends, whomever, can see like this was not 2,000 years ago. This is now. This is coming sooner than you think.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, like the minister has spoke about iniquity and how we live in sin and we willfully sin and we enjoy that sin. And I wanted to like make sure that, you know, I don't have any, you know, iniquitous behavior within myself, because of course that is something that's more so of a self-destructive spirit that will come over you. And I just wanted to make sure I'm as clean, as pure as possible, because like Sister Salima also said, you know, I just want to be, you know, right, especially when the judgment comes. And, you know, because of course time's going to get worse. I want to strengthen my discipline. I want to make sure, because like while we've been on quarantine, I'm not leaving the house either. But we also, that's why we got to follow these teachings and have, you know, our house stocked up, and things are just going to get more real. So I just want to make sure every order that the minister or the messenger has ever given us, I want to make sure that I was like implementing that like 100%, not 99. So.
Excellent. I was coming to you, Brother Najee. I just want to say, Brother Tony Muhammad says, great point, brother. Brother Michael Muhammad says, assalamu alaikum, brother and sister gods. And my sister Naima says, great point. Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. Okay, Brother Najee, have you been moving different since you heard the speech, sir?
Not moving different, but moving with more of a passion, with more of a sternness and a seriousness. Like the sister said, man, I just, once he gave that last message, I just wanted to speak the truth even more boldly, to really push the envelope on boldness and speak that truth, because we are the little ministers and the little messengers behind the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. So in the absence of those men, just as Jesus said, bring your pieces of bread together. So this is to display what has been given to us and to offer it now to humanity. So it's giving me more of a passion, more fuel to really go into that mode that, hey, this is it. Man, I've been out here, I've been going door to door in my own neighborhood. Ring the doorbell, boom, final call, this, that, and the third, speaking to them about the teachings and telling them about the last message of the minister. So it's caused me now to view the teachings in a different light, in a better light, if you will. Now that I'm seeing us walk through the book of Revelation and really walk through the pages of the fall of America, you know, and it grieves me now. Now my prayers are more, I wouldn't say sincere, but I have a deeper love now when I pray. I have a deeper understanding for circumstances and events. And not only that, this entire thing is causing me to rise above emotion into the thinking of God and see why all of these things must happen in order for the kingdom of God to be established. So it's caused me to go even deeper in my studies and deeper within my own self and extract the best.
Praise be to Allah. Excellent. And I'm coming to you with our events to close this out, but I want to thank Sister Salima for going very hard on Facebook with the teachings and your representation, ma'am. I want to thank you, Sister Bria, for on Twitter. I mean, you're on my timeline more than everybody else. I mean, my goodness. I mean, every day I'm like, somebody, Sister Bria's teaching today. Thank you for going hard, representing the teachings in a cool way too. It's not like a weird, spooky way, but you're doing it in a cool way. So I appreciate how, and you engage with the people on Twitter. So it means a lot. And Brother Najee, of course, Hidden Colors, your work, Hidden Colors, but not only just Hidden Colors, but in Atlanta, in the community. I seen the brother every time I used to go to Camp Creek by my parents' house. I see Brother Najee, Southern Final Call, Bean. I'm like, bro, this brother's out here representing. I'm out here going to get some popcorn. I at the movies. I see Brother Najee Southern Favor. I'm like, oh damn, Josh, come on, man, you gotta do better. So I thank you, sir, for your work as well. Brother Arvence, holding it down, sir. Can you have you been moving different since the speech, sir?
Absolutely. When the minister telling us that Judas attitude and that figure, and however many of them there are, when he said they're present and he know who they are. So I'm thinking like, now I have to be more watchful and I have to listen more closely when I hear people talk, because you don't want someone to drop a seed on you and it doesn't feel right at first and you ignore it and you allow that seed to grow from your own disappointment with something else. You see what I'm saying? That's how the enemy turn people. You don't want to be the one to be turned against the one man who is responsible for you still being alive. You see what I'm saying? You could have been dead a long time ago. He could have left us out on the street, but he didn't, So, I mean, you have to, all of the believers, anyone, you don't even have to be a registered Muslim in the Nation of Islam. If you follow the truth that you hear the most honorable Elijah Muhammad say and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, it forces you, that alone forces you to move differently. You have to, because we all live in a world and in society that hates those men and want to kill them and anyone who follows them truthfully. You see what I'm saying? So that last message, that was it. Like, that was it. Like the final call, that was it. The train done took off. If you ain't get on it, you got left. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't coming back. If it come back, it's coming back with something you're not gonna want. You see? So
you gotta get in the ark now.
Yes. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about that as well. He said, once the doors to the ark closed, he said no one would be able to allow to get in. He said your family, nobody.
You die with your mother, you die with your father.
Exactly. and exactly. And that ark is really not talking about a physical boat. It's talking about a nation that has what everyone on the planet needs to survive what's coming from the Lord of the Worlds in terms of chastisement. And the minister said, God kills people. He kills men, women, and children. He don't care. He in charge. Like, you're not gonna make him do your bidding. Who are you? You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's like, you have to move differently. You have to. And I've been studying the Criterion message so hard lately, like every day.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm like, being there, okay, that was a blessing, but with everything else that's going on, you can't really focus. You see what I'm saying? So afterwards, I have to go on YouTube or NOI.org and go in my room, close the door, and just focus, tune the whole world out, and really parse every word. And brother, I did that day after day, and I could barely get past 30 minutes of his lecture because it was just so much. I'm taking so many notes. I'm like, man, do people really know what he's saying right now? Like, it was scary. I had to pause it and pace back and forth in my own house. Like, yo, this is serious. This is way more serious than any of us really, really think. And I mean, after now we have to just be found studying like never before. Act like you just came in the ranks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, study like that, and act like you never heard nothing. Every single tape, lecture, MP3, final call, every single book, YouTube, everything. Get everything and save it on a tablet, your phone, external hard drive, because when the minister leave, we're gonna be attacked, and they're gonna try to take all of our literature. And if you don't have it up here, you only have you're not gonna have enough to be able to stand firm against the enemy, because they're gonna use scare tactics. You see what I'm saying? That's all they do, use scare tactics. And one of the brothers on the E team one day, he told me, he said, how would you feel if you and your family and the rest of the believers was stood up in a line and the enemy held a gun to y'all head and went down the line? Do you follow Farrakhan? And the brother or sister next to you said yes, and they got the head blown off. He said, what would you do? And I was like, damn, like we never faced that before. I never did. I seen it in movies, but in real life, it's a different story. So I said to myself, I pray that I won't get scared. Of course, naturally, some nervousness will come in your heart. Every life wants to keep living. But during that time, I mean, they want you dead anyway. So, I mean, you might as well just give it all to Allah. And if you're not willing to die for this truth, as many others did before us in this nation since 1930, to give us a nation, man, we can't just think about them at least. Think about all of the black people from slavery who were strong enough to fight and try to free black people, and other civil rights leaders. And just we as a people been through a lot, too much. We still going through too much. You can't take it no more. Just like the minister said, that's it, man. You can't take it no more. And what are they trying to force us to do? You see what I'm saying? What are they trying to force us to do? It's gonna come a point in this country and on the whole entire planet Earth where we're not gonna want to be treated right no more. We're gonna want revenge. And it's getting to that boiling point now, because more and more things are still happening after George Floyd. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's not gonna stop. That's not gonna stop unless we decide to separate from the enemy that we were told to separate from the get-go. But as a people, we always say, well, we can fix it, or we want this and we want that. No, inclusion is out. Inclusion is out. This is the day. If you want to be included, you want to die. That's what that means. And they're telling us that's what that means.
Say that.
Like, if you want to survive, we need to get away from that. And we have a program from the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad that will save us and help us to be free without them. We don't need them, but we only need God and ourselves. That's it. We have enough smart people in the Nation of Islam. We have enough smart people in the Black community, Hispanic community. We have enough smart people that's out here. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, if we remove our ego, we can prevent 95% of most hostile action. You see what I'm saying? So, and that goes back to what I said earlier. When they come to arrest him, the minister gave us the instruction, don't fight. But he said somebody is gonna do it. I just hope it's not me. That's a hard trial. You see, that's a hard trial. A man that gave everything for you and everybody else to be alive, including the ones who come in to arrest him. You see what I'm saying? That's a hard trial you're gonna have to face. But I mean, it's just like we were taught that one day we'll be spit in our face, and you're gonna have to turn the other cheek in order to see the hereafter. Nobody never spit in my face before in my life. So I can't say that I've been through that. I know how to deal with that. You see what I'm saying? I can't say I've been through something, somebody trying to arrest the messenger and I was there. I know how to deal with that. I don't. I pray that I do the right thing.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
all of us who do the right thing during this day and time, we'll have a testimony during the absence of the messenger of Allah to the whole world. And we'll be able to save more people and bring more people to the messenger of Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Okay, great. I want to let everybody say something like I just got a quick little thing that happened to me last night. I was taking care of something, and I saw two people fighting with two women that were involved with each other, and they were fighting. And the old me would have went over there and be like, man, ain't gonna be no fighting, because I thought that one of the women was a man, but it was a woman though. When I got over there, and the old me would have went about it a whole nother situation, because I'm talking about moving different. But when I was like, man, is this really worth me jumping involved in these lover situation? I was like, hey, I'm gonna call the police or something. But the old me would have been like, nigga, ain't gonna be no fight, So I had to calm. I gotta move, because do I really want to? I don't want to go there unless it's time to go there. So when I move there, I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious for me I can still stop the situation without being in this day and time. If we fight, it's supposed to be, it better be worth it. That's all I'm saying. I ain't want to tell my siblings and then be like, look at Josh got arrested for fighting for two lesbians down in downtown Atlanta. Him picking up a fight. So it ain't worth it. So I got to move different. So I was just like, hey, break it up. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But let's move different. I want to thank you all for coming on. I want us all to stay on code. Let's not beef with each other over music, sports, drama, family, any small thing, religious differences. Let's not beef with each other. Stay on code. I thank you, my panelists, for coming on. Sister Salima, please say assalamu alaikum. Please say goodbye to everybody.
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Okay, also, somebody wrote in the comments, can they have your social media handles in order to follow you on social media?
Well, social media, my name is Supreme Leems, SUPREMELEEM _ That's on my Instagram, and you can follow me on Facebook as Supreme Leem as well. Those are my two social medias. Also on Twitter, Supreme Leems on Twitter as well.
Okay, excellent. And Shayba Diaz Muhammad says this has him fired up. Thank you all. Stalia says that's right. Rise Above Emotions. His name says facts. Boom. Sister Bria.
Assalamu alaikum. On social media, I'm Bria X. I think on Instagram, Bria X _ because they was hating on me. But Bria X.
They hating on the whole nation.
And brother Najee.
Yes, sir. On Facebook, I'm Najee Khalifa. That's NAJID KHALIPHA. And then on Instagram and Twitter is Empire Regime, which is spelled EMPIRE REGIME.
Yeah, okay. Excellent. And brother Arvence?
Yes, I'm on Facebook as Arvence Muhammad, and I'm on Twitter as Arvence Muhammad.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you all for watching. I am Joshua Muhammad. On social media, I'm the Life of Joshua. Thank you all for tuning in. I thank you all for giving me the spirit, letting us know believers is only 5% of us in the whole world. So that's a small group. We got to stay connected. If it's social media, we got to stay on code. Let y'all know I'm y'all brother. If y'all need anything, I'm here for y'all. I'm always one phone call away. May Allah continue to bless us all. Assalamu alaikum, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you.